Sanibonani and welcome to Forever and Always. I'm your host, Michelle Lima, and thank you so much for joining us. So every time we talk about women, we seldom refer to Proverbs 31 from verse 10 that says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For she is far above rubies." I'm quite intrigued by the word virtuous, which originates from the word virtue. That basically means a good moral standard. Today, I'm joined by Mpoomy Ledwaba, a phenomenal woman who's an entrepreneur, a mother, and actually a lot of things. Mpoomy, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm honored to be here.
Please introduce yourself.
So basically, I'm Mpoomy Ledwaba, a mom, actually a wife, a mom, a daughter, but most importantly, I think a child of God. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a nail bar in Melville. I'm a content creator. I've got a YouTube channel, and yeah, there's a lot to me that's still coming about.
Yeah, I think that's how I said, and so much.
Yeah, exactly. I think that makes sense.
There's definitely a lot to Mpoomy. Mpoomy, today I want to talk to you about womanhood.
Yeah.
What does womanhood mean to you?
I told you when we were preparing that I don't even know how to answer. I think I once did a podcast with my friend Yoles, and we named it The Colorful World of a Woman. I think to be a woman is colorful because I cannot give one definition. Every day you can be something else. But one thing I know is that a woman is nurturing, a peacemaker, a homemaker. And something that stands out to me from a good woman or a woman I look up to is kindness, love, loyalty, and commitment. So I hope that makes sense.
Wow, yeah. Tell us a little bit more about your journey in womanhood.
My journey in womanhood, I can almost say, has just begun because as a teenager, you find yourself conforming to everything. You don't know who you are. You take whatever people say you are. And then I got into marriage, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Who am I? Who's this girl? My husband's trying to figure me out. I'm trying to figure me out. And then I had a daughter. And I think now I'm kind of getting it. It's kind of like a light bulb moment. The word of God says we need to be childlike, not childish, childlike. And I look at my child and how present she is and how she's enjoying every single moment. And she's so confident in herself because she's not looking at who am I going to be tomorrow. And yeah, and I think that's just where I'm at right now, is focusing on the now. Who am I today? Because I think for the longest time, like I said, in varsity, I'm trying to figure out who am I going to be as an adult? Who am I going to be as this? Who am I going to be? But God just expects me to live the grace of today. Who am I today?
Sure, that's very powerful. Yeah. One of the greatest misconceptions I've heard about womanhood is the idea of balance. And I wanted to find out, what are the misconceptions about womanhood that you had to break through, I think, within discovering all different aspects of your life, because you're a mother, you're a wife, you're an entrepreneur, and you're also in the public space. As women, we're told we're multitaskers. I think I've had to get rid of that notion that, no, you don't have to be a multitasker. But from reading the book, The 5 a.m. Club, it's commit to one thing. Commit to that one thing and do it excellently, and everything shall flow through. So like today I'm not present as a mom. My child's at home with a nanny, and I should be okay with that, because we feel guilty that, oh, I want to be at home, I want to be with my husband, but I've got to work. And it's okay. Right now, I'm a businesswoman and I am present here. That's what I'm going to do. So I just think it's just being comfortable in our own skin and everything. Did I answer your question? You did. When you were younger, so this is like your varsity years, and going through that whole phase, what did you think womanhood was going to look like? Because I know when we're little girls, we really are excited to be grown women. You know, when we're younger, we start wearing bras when it's not the right time yet. What did you think? What did you think womanhood was going to look like?
Oh, that's an interesting question. What did I think? I think I saw the material things. And now I'm learning it's got more to do with the soul. I'm studying the soul, and it's so flabbergasting. It's intriguing. But I thought it's girl in high heels. Firstly, I don't even like high heels. So I've had to forgive myself that, girl, you are not the girl who's going to wear Christian Louis Vuitton this high. Yeah. It's just not for you. High heels, handbags, sunglasses, the car, the man, just the house. It was more of a materialistic view. I wanted to be in that corporate look, walking into the office, but it had very little to do with what was happening on the inside.
The busy woman, the one that's got it all together.
That has it all together, the figure,
beautiful kids, a big home.
Exactly.
And I think we all definitely do fall into that trap quite a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. Now the reality of it versus what you had in mind, I'd like to think that when you actually started getting into it, there was a bit of a shock. Like, oh my gosh, you know, take me through that journey.
The reality is that the material things will not make you happy. And I love material things, I love a good gene and whatever, but that's an extension of who you are. What's most important is on the inside, and now I've had to learn to do the work on the inside. And now I used to be sort of still a control freak, and external things it's easy to kind of control, internal things not so much. So now I'm learning to really depend on God, because if I say, God, I need patience, I cannot make myself patient. Circumstances will make me patient. So it's just a whole life of discovering and rediscovering, learning and unlearning. Things that I thought were important are no longer important. Like now, I'm reading a book called The Return to Love, and it's talking about love and fear, and how you react is important, because it's easy for me to be loving if you're doing exactly what I need you to do. But when you're snapping and all over the place, who am I in that moment? So those are the things I'm kind of learning. As a woman, Mpoomy, is it just the material things, the long weave, the eyelashes, the hair, the things I say when I'm on camera, or when I'm interacting with people who don't believe the same things I do? Who am I? Am I still the woman, the virtuous woman you were talking about? So yeah, so I think it's stripped off all the external outside things and a focus on the inside, the soul, and realizing that the soul is bigger than the actual physicality.
Sure. Yeah. I was going to ask you what makes a woman, but I actually think you kind of answered it in what you were saying as far as the soul. Now, I believe every single woman goes through a phase where I think we're constantly evolving and rediscovering, you know, ourselves. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm at I accept you.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been I'm a firstborn, so I think naturally as a firstborn you're hard on yourself. You need to set the example, you know, and I've always been so hard on myself, including when I was pregnant, because when I was pregnant, my pregnancy went sideways. It's not what God and I had talked about. Yeah, like I thought I was the girl who's gonna have the fashion sense, my nose was gonna be intact, my skin was gonna glow, and the opposite happened. Everything that I sort of based my life on changed on me. So I was confident with showing up with my face, because I always believed I have a pretty face, I have a nice nose. You know, certain things like that, and then it changed. My nose was 3 times the size, my feet were swollen, I felt ugly on the inside, and it took me very long to accept that. Even after pregnancy, my entire physicality changed, and that's what sort of almost got me into an anxiety, depression state, that everything changed and I wasn't coping with the change. And I got hectic in the gym and I wasn't seeing results until I had to sit down with myself and say, for me, the only way to change is to accept. I cannot change what I deny. So if I keep denying who I am, this is who I am right now, I can't change that. I first have to accept, okay, this is where you're sitting, you don't love yourself, you're not happy with how you look, you're not happy with the way things are turning out, and that's okay. So now, where to from here? So I'm in that every day. I literally have to give myself self-talks. You're enough, you're okay. Maybe you didn't do as well as you wanted to, but it's okay. You can still do it. So yeah, I think I'm really at a place of I accept myself, because my daughter accepts me. She looks at me and she doesn't see all these faulty things I find. She sees her loving mother. And why can't I see myself that way?
Wow. Yeah. And I think it also goes back to what you just said about the soul. The soul. And the inner you. That's it. Wow. Mpoomy, that's very powerful. Yeah. That's that's really powerful. Take me through now. You accept you, right? And I think I really am just passing this on to every single woman that's actually watching, that we ultimately need to be at that phase where what you're saying, we cannot change what we constantly deny. Tell us about how that filters down into everything that you do, how that filters down into you accepting you, into you being a wife, into you being an entrepreneur, and you being a mother.
I'll start with being a wife. Like I said, I've always had ideas on how things are supposed to be, and I wanted to be this wife who cooks a meal every day. I don't know what's the rating of the show, but you have to have sex every single day. But that's not reality, and you feel like a failure because a misconception that you created in your head is not happening. And God never said that's what's going to happen. So why are we fighting? Because that's not what God promised us. And so with being a wife as well, it's one thing I look at marriage as, it's like a mirror. It reflects every good thing about you and every bad thing about you. And now, instead of fighting that, I've learned to appreciate that when my husband takes me off in this area, that reflects something in me. Like, if I want to judge that part of him so badly, that says something on me, then I start working on that part instead of being defensive. Because in the beginning, when I hadn't accepted myself, if I say, I think you're selfish, and then he said, but you're selfish, I'd be defensive. But now, if he says you're being if I'm judging him on his selfishness, then I say, okay, cool. Why is that such a problem to me? Maybe I'm the selfish one. So then it goes back to, I accept that I'm selfish in this area. How can I work on it? Even in business, I want things to be perfect, but they're not going to be perfect, and we're going to make mistakes. So what we do now, we acknowledge. When you know better, you do better, like Maya Angelou said. So I think that's a mantra that I've just kind of taken up, and that goes back with acceptance, that when you know better, you do better. The reason I didn't do better is because I didn't know better, and that's okay.
Yes. Wow. So that's as a wife, and then in business as well. And then in being a mother, I remember you saying Nuru just accepts you the way you are.
Yes, she just does. I think that's one role I can say, wow, I'm killing this. I can always say I'm killing this because there's no pressure. It's just love. It's just so much love. I don't think I had experienced love in such a way until my daughter came. I look at her eating a strawberry, and she's so present. She doesn't know that it's a strawberry, and that's why she can enjoy it. When she looks at the sky and the trees, she doesn't know that it's trees. That's why she can explore. But we've become so numb to the things of God because we see them every day that we don't get to experience life. But when I see her, I've started living my life through her eyes. And when she experiences trees for the first time when we go out, that's just how I want to be. So yeah, I think that's the one part, motherhood, where I feel my most comfortable, where I feel like, okay, God, I was born for this. I really was born for this.
You're nailing it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Not to say it's perfect. There's moments where I'm just like, can I just put you in the cupboard just for like 10 minutes? Yeah. So I don't ever want to give the illusion that it's always perfect, but it's, for the most part, it's fulfilling. I think that's the word, fulfilling. Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're seeing now in the 21st century, there's different ideas about what womanhood should look like, and what women should do, what women should say, what women should, you know, I think everyone has their own belief based on their own religions and whatever the case is. I briefly want to talk about the importance of being rooted in Christ as a woman and what that does to you. My idea of being rooted in Christ used to be very religious, right? But I've slowly shifted away from religion to relationship. And it goes back to what I said about the soul and about love and fear. And the book that I'm reading says there's only love. Anything outside love does not exist. So fear doesn't exist. Fear manifests itself in the form of hatred, jealousy, insecurity, etc. So I think as women, our main point should not be about the rules of a woman should wear long skirts, or a woman should serve in the kitchen, or a woman should do this. But it's, God, how can I best love? And that's it. Everything that I should be doing as a woman should stem from love, not from who started this. Because you think about it, you don't even know why you eat chicken. You eat it because that's what everyone's doing. So we've gotten into a life where we don't question why we do things. We just do them because that's just it. You don't know why you've got long hair. You just do it because someone said you need to have long hair, you know. So I think we need to get to a place of, it goes back to being present, going back to God, saying, God, who am I to you? And how can I best express my love? If me expressing my love is cooking for my family, then let me cook with love. If me best expressing my love is going to work 9 to 9, then let me do that out of love. But we should never do something out of fear. Now here's how you do something out of fear. I'm gonna cook a meal every night, even though I hate it because Michelle does it for her husband.
So do you understand what I'm talking about? Things done out of love and things done out of fear. So I don't think there's a blueprint of being a woman of Christ. What I know is that everything we do as women and as men should be from love. Because you think about it, God has no religion. True. We have religion. Yeah. So we should do away with religion and do with God and let God lead us.
Sure. Sure. And I think, like you're also saying, it really takes for you to be in a certain level of peace and a call with yourself to be able to feel like it's okay, I really don't want to cook today because I'm tired, and we're going to eat bread or whatever the case is, you know. And also I want to talk about that self-love and that call. What has it done, or what is it currently doing for your marriage?
A lot. I think it's still in process. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't know if there is a there yet. But it's an everyday thing, because if I don't love myself, the word says love your neighbor as yourself. So you cannot love somebody else without loving yourself. It goes back to fear. If I have insecurities with myself, if I don't accept myself, that's what I project onto my husband. Then I start pointing out all the ugly things about him because I have an issue. And that's why I say to people, someone asked, how do you deal with negativity? And I'm just like, you know what, I'm okay with it, because it says nothing about me. It says something about the other person. You're hurt, and that's why you want to come hurt me. Hurt people hurt other people. Healed people love other people. So I think loving me, focusing on my healing, has done wonders for my marriage. Even my husband's like, wow, you're such an amazing person, because I'm so focused on doing things that please me, as opposed to how can I please Brendan, how can I please Brendan. No, how do I make Mpoomy happy? And if Mpoomy is happy, naturally she will make others around her, Brendan, my daughter, my team, happy. It's just a ripple effect of love.
Yes. Wow.
I think all my answers today are going to be love.
Technically,
that's just it. That's honestly just it, love.
That's really where it begins, because I think there's so much pressure, you know, with women, and there's so much pressure, like I said before, how women must dress, what they should look like, what you need to do as a wife. There's so much expectations already about, and now we get into the 21st century where we're trying to figure out how are we still relevant and still become godly women in this time. So this is really interesting, but we're going to go for a short ad break. And when we're back, we're going to be talking a little bit more about this conversation. Don't forget, you can still engage with us on all of our social media platforms. And the hashtag is forever and always. I'll see you in a bit.